Hello, my friends. Welcome back to week 9. Is it week 9? I don't even know anymore. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Hot Girl Summer Bikini Prep. And just FYI, I'm not calling myself a hot girl. Like, look at me. I am not a hot girl, but we're trying our best to feel like our most hot girl summer vibes for summer. And honestly, all of us can be hot girls, hot boys. We should feel like our most confident, hottest, baddie selves. For those of you who have been following along, you know that last week I was in San Diego visiting back home for a little mini, well, not really mini, a week-long vacation. Now I'm back, and a lot of people tend to struggle, including me in the past, with getting back on track. If you are someone who is in that boat, we're gonna discuss how to get back on track with your training, nutrition, how to get back into that mindset of hitting your goals again. And a lot of people feel overwhelmed with, what am I supposed to do? I just overate so much. I just gained all of this weight. You saw that I gained 11 pounds from my vacation. So this is what I'm looking like right now. I am, first of all, extremely okay, rude. I'm extremely burnt. It's kind of crazy. But that all being said, I weighed in at 164 today. Before vacation, I weighed in at, I'll just show you guys, I weighed in at 153.4. Now I weigh in at 164 after the vacation is over. Here is the fluctuation. You guys can see how incredibly cracked my phone is, but we're not worried about it, and you're gonna see why. A lot of it is water weight, a lot of it is fat, but we're not stressing, because if we get right back on track, I'm gonna show you guys what happens. We don't have to do anything crazy. We don't have to have our calories half our calories in half. We don't have to half our calories. It is day 2 of being back on track, being back from vacation, but let's do our body update, see how we're looking. I don't know why I always do that. I literally always spin in my videos. So here is what I weighed today. I dropped to 161.2 pounds. So there we go. I went from 164 to 161.2. So a 3-pound drop in weight. That is not fat. That would be water weight. So already we're starting to see that once you just get back on track, you don't have to cut anything drastically. Just get back on track. The water weight will drop. I gained 11 pounds during that 1 week of eating whatever I wanted, not training, not even really walking much. And so here's what I did and what I'm doing to get back on track this week. So let's first talk about what causes this excessive weight gain from vacation. I think on average, people who travel for about a week will gain about 5 to 10 pounds. To gain that weight is normal, but what causes that weight gain? The first thing is traveling. So if you're flying is really hard on the body, and that will naturally already cause a lot of bloating and so much water weight. So that is the first thing. Flying is hard on the body. The second thing is going to be water weight from sodium, water weight from carbs, water weight just from eating things that aren't in your normal diet and normal routine. So when you eat extra sodium, when you eat higher in carbs, you're going to see the scale go up. But that doesn't mean you're gaining fat. When you eat carbs, when you eat sodium, you're gonna see the scale go up, because certain things like sodium and carbohydrates cause water retention, and that is very normal. It's not something that is a bad thing at all. It's just how your body reacts, so it's nothing to worry about. But if you are used to, especially eating on a meal plan, eating the same things every day, and then going to eating whatever you want, you're gonna see the scale go up. The water weight isn't permanent, so it's nothing to stress about, but that is another reason. And then the third reason is because, yes, you are going to gain fat. Anytime you are eating in a caloric surplus, which means you have your maintenance level calories, and then we have our surplus. This is above our maintenance. Then we have our deficit. When we are cutting, which is what this vlog series is about, is cutting. When you're cutting, you're in a caloric deficit, so you're eating less than your maintenance calories. And then when you eat at maintenance, you're fluctuating between the same weights, so you're maintaining weight is what they call that. And then if you eat above those numbers, then you are gaining weight. Typically, when we are on vacation, we will not be eating in a caloric deficit because we are enjoying all of the beautiful parts of life. Amazing food and amazing alcohol and amazing drinks are a part of enjoying and experiencing life. Things that are different and outside of what our typical routine would be. So yes, at the end of the day, most of the time you are gaining fat. It's just not 10 pounds or 11 pounds of fat. Realistically though, you are still gaining fat, but it's nothing to worry about, nothing to stress about. Even in your everyday life, when we are eating in a caloric deficit, sometimes if we are only eating in a 100 or 150 calorie deficit to lose weight, there are times when we're actually still eating at maintenance because we don't have a steady maintenance level calories. Every single day we are burning and expending more. So sometimes we are in more of a deficit than others. Some days we are closer to maintenance or even at maintenance than others. And when we are on a cut, you are almost never going to be burning the same amount of calories every day, even if you do the same things every single day. So from that perspective, your body is still gaining fat and then losing fat every single day. But at the end of the week, the goal is to still be in a caloric deficit, obviously, so that you can be on track for your fat loss. So I hope that puts things into perspective that gaining fat, gaining a little bit of fat is not a big deal. We are cutting during the rest of that time. So if you go off track for a week, it's not going to be enough to just completely throw you off track. You shouldn't be really off track at all, even if, so for me, I gained more weight than when I started my cut. I think I started at 160 pounds for my cut. I went to 163 pounds last week. That is higher than when I started 9-10 weeks ago. Most of it is water weight, so it's nothing to stress yourself out about. So the next question is, what should you do about the water weight? What is your game plan? A lot of people think, okay, I just gained all this weight, so now I have to cut even stricter. I have to go even harder in the gym, do extra cardio. And the truth is, you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is go back on track. You have to do exactly what you were doing before. So if you were doing 30 minutes of cardio 5 times per week, go back to doing 30 minutes of cardio 5 times per week. That's what I'm doing right now. If you were training 5 times per week or lifting 5 times per week, go back to that. And the thing is, you definitely don't want to go from vacation mindset to severe cutting mindset, because 1, this can trigger eating disorders. 2, even bigger for more people, it can trigger a binge and restrict cycle, which arguably could be an eating disorder. But this really just messes with your hormones, because if you go from eating a lot to eating very little and restricting, it will trigger a lot both mentally and physically and physiologically. So I would just go right back on track. Don't try to eat less to make up for your vacation weight. The vacation weight is just naturally gonna come off without you having to do anything extra. So just go back on track. And what the binge restrict cycle is it's not something that people even recognize that they do, but a lot of people do it, where they severely undereat because they saw that they were overeating. So to balance it out, they cut way too low in their calories, and then it causes them to then overeat and completely binge again. And then that causes them to try to balance things out by restricting again. So it's this cycle of completely overeating and then completely undereating. Whereas if we just go back to more balanced calories throughout the week and we don't severely cut, then we really decrease the risk of you overeating and starting this binge restrict cycle. And this is actually how my eating disorder ended up developing, was because I started binge eating on my competition prep during my bodybuilding days, and it caused me to binge restrict to the point that I ended up developing some pretty serious eating disorder issues, and it took me years to come back from that. So it's something that I really emphasize with my clients and with you guys. Do not try to decrease calories so severely. So that's why it's really important to me that you guys understand that cutting calories very severely is not something you want to play around with. Yes, you will lose weight faster. No, it won't cause the starvation mode. That's not a thing. But what it does cause is a lot of mental trauma that you can be putting on yourself without intentionally doing that. And this can cause issues for years and years and years, like it did for me. So instead, just eat in balance, and the weight is going to just come right back off. Even the weight in fat. The water weight will naturally come off, but the weight that you've gained in fat, don't stress about it. It will come off. So if it really is that simple, let's talk about what the biggest limitation is. Why, if it's so simple, do people still struggle with post-vacation weight gain? What's the limitation with that? So the biggest limitation is mindset, and mindset is so freaking important, not in just fitness, not just in losing your vacation weight. Mindset is important in absolutely everything that we do in life. The reason we succeed, the reason we fail in life, 99% of the time, obviously I'm just throwing that number out there, is because of our mindset. Our mindset has everything to do with your success and your failure. Everything. And I've struggled with this too, and it's taken me years to build this up and years of trial and error to figure out. The only limitation I ever had was in my head. That is the only limitation. And for you guys, if you are struggling, your only limitation is in your head. And I think the limitation here is that a lot of us struggle with this all or nothing mindset. We see the scale go up and we're like, oh my God, well, I just screwed it all up. So why should I even go right back on track if I've already gained all my weight back? And so we get that in our heads. And then what that does is it causes us to not go right back on track, to eat a little bit more and say, oh, I'll just go back on track in a few days because I've already gained the weight, so what's it even matter now? And then we do start gaining more fat because we're not getting back on track. So now the fat is adding up, it's piling up, and a lot of us are emotional eaters. So now we're emotionally eating because we're stressed out about the fact we just gained all this weight, we just worked so hard and lost it all, which isn't true, but you're telling yourself it's true. So in your head, it's true. And so then you and your mindset have caused you to start gaining the weight back. Not all of it back, and all of this is reversible. So even if you did get off track, it's not a big deal. So the biggest thing is just working on your mindset and realizing that it's not a big deal. And that's why I want to show you guys this series too. This is what this series is all about, is to show you the struggles that we go through and how to overcome them. And this is a really big struggle. And I know a lot of people are going on vacation now and getting back to traveling a little bit more. Okay guys, we are gonna finish up this convo, but first, let's hit the gym. So here are my biggest tips to help you with mindset. So while most of the videos on here that I see, they just tell you exactly what I said. You need to get back on track and say, drink more water, do more of this, do more of that. And that's the same advice I have, but that's actually not the root issue with why people struggle. The root issue is with the mindset. So what we need to work on is correcting that mindset and improving the mindset around the weight gain. So there are four pieces of advice that I can give you guys to help you with correcting your mindset while you're going through this struggle. The first one is education, understanding what is actually going on in your body, understanding why you're gaining the weight, and that is what this video is for. So this video, I hope in and of itself is helpful for you guys. And PS, if it is, it would help a lot if you guys give me a thumbs up, because it helps to spread this video to other people and hopefully help other people who are also struggling. The second one is to avoid the scale. You know the scale is going to be high. You understand the reasons why. There's no reason to continue stepping on that scale during that week if you know it's going to mess with your head. So typically I recommend to my clients not to step on the scale at all. The reason I did for you guys is just to show that the weight does go down and it doesn't mess with my mindset to see the scale, because this is my job. I understand what's going on. But I think for a lot of people who, especially if you're watching this video, it's going to be more of a challenge to step on that scale, and not be thrown off or not start getting negative thoughts in your head like, why isn't my weight dropped faster? What's going on? So I typically say just avoid scale for a week and jump on after that. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than a week to lose all that weight, especially if you gained 11 pounds like I did. The third thing is you are gonna be bloated. It happens. So avoid doing constant body checks in the mirror. You know, when you step up, you're looking at yourself and you're like, what is this? What's going on? Where are my abs? Looking at every part of our body, looking at every part of our arms, and really just criticizing and critiquing every part of our body. Oh, why isn't this going away? All this fat right here. And it's just bloat. And and even if it is fat, learn to love yourself and work on your mindset for loving yourself too throughout your journey, because your body is your capsule to enjoy life. You should love every part of you. I'm not perfect either. I see that I have fat and cellulite. You guys probably don't see it as much, but in the gym, I have cellulite all over my body, all over my legs. I am by no means perfect, and neither is anyone else. And we are gonna be our own worst critics. That being said, it's so important that you do, while we're talking about mindset, work on your mindset of loving yourself through the process. And if you do that, then all of this will be so much easier. Seeing the fluctuations in your everyday life of weight on the scale, of the bloating, all of that, you won't even stress about, because you're like, damn, my body rocks. Thank you for letting me experience this life. And obviously a lot of people cut to work on their physique, but you can still love yourself at a heavier weight, because you're not always going to be extremely lean for summer. It's not realistic. So if you are cutting, you should be prioritizing your mindset and loving your body positivity throughout this whole journey, even as you're getting leaner, because you won't always be this lean. And it's important to accept that and love yourself and radiate confidence, because when you do that, no matter how you look, people are going to gravitate towards you. And a lot of people cut for self-acceptance, not even self-acceptance, external acceptance from other people, and maybe self-acceptance as well. And once you accept yourself through all stages of your life and you radiate that, people are going to gravitate towards you. So mindset really should be prioritized throughout this entire journey. The fourth tip is to replace all of these negative thoughts of how your body would look or doing these body checks, because you're gonna have those thoughts. You're gonna wanna look at yourself. You're gonna wanna step on the scale. But every time you do that, replace those thoughts with, I'm gonna stay on track. I'm gonna get to the gym. I'm gonna go for my walks. I'm gonna do what I need to do to stay on track. And so as soon as you see the scale, as soon as you have thoughts to look in the mirror, you're just going to switch that, quickly change that thought to, I'm gonna get to the gym. I'm gonna go for my walk. I'm gonna prep my meals. And that's going to help you go from a negative thought to an action thought, a more positive action-based thought. And so those are the things that I do and or have done in the past to help me get out of that negative mindset around weight gain from vacations, or just really any weight gain. But since I did just come back from vacation, I figured this would be a good time to talk about this. So that is it for this video. I will see you guys next week. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please give it a big thumbs up. It does help me out so much. And I appreciate every single one of you guys who watches this video and supports me. Love you guys. See you next week.